I'm recording it.
All right. Well, hello. My name is Eric Scott. I was arrested the other day, and I was arrested with a friend of mine. Okay. Halloween morning, 1 a.m., the cops came, raided Occupy Richmond, was at a park called Kanawha Plaza. They tore it down, they slashed tents, they threw people's stuff away, they broke it up. We were going to reoccupy at a different park called Monroe Park, and it's like biggest park in the middle of downtown Richmond. A great location. The location was announced well in advance, and because of that, on that night, there were like 200 cops waiting there for us, and it was like a march of how many people? Like 300 is the number that I've been hearing. I don't know, because of the police repression in other occupations and the use of things like tear gas, people, were masking up for it. They were wearing masks soaked in apple cider vinegar. And not just, a small portion of the march. Most everybody there soaked a bandana or their shirt or their scarf in apple cider vinegar because it's supposed to help mitigate the effects of like tear gas and pepper spray, which are really dangerous and really terrible. So as a precautionary measure, people were wearing masks, which in Virginia is a Class 6 felony that can carry up to a 5-year prison sentence. So anyway, we're marching toward the park, actually, in a move that was planned kind of as a contingency plan because of the police presence there. We decided to not actually take Monroe Park and instead go to another park. But we sent a decoy group over to Monroe Park, to keep the cops there and busy. And it was a good strategy. And I volunteered to be one of the people who went there. And so we get to the park. We're marching around the park, like we don't actually go into it. And as we're about to make the first circuit around, the cops come from behind without any sort of warning, grab me, force me to the ground, and arrest me. I didn't even know it was a cop grabbing my arm until I looked around and I see this big burly police officer there. It's a pretty a scary thing as somebody who's never really experienced like I've experienced some police oppression and some police repression, and everybody has, but not to the extent that they're physically grabbing you, hurting your friends. And I'm not going to go into too many details because there are a lot of court cases fucking pending about this, but people were brutalized there. And it didn't turn out into a riot. In fact, there was nothing violent about the march before or after that, aside from what the police did. And I don't know. My friend and I, the two people who actually got arrested, are both anarchists. We're both supporters of the Occupy movement and have been since the beginning. We were both wearing masks, and we've both been charged with, felonies and misdemeanors that could amount to 5, 6, 7 years being locked up. For things that we have, that a lot of us, that most of us in the occupation movement have done, and that have hurt nobody. That we've done to protect ourselves, not just physically, but to protect our ability to live full lives in this society. It's ridiculous, and there's this endless, terrible system that I got a glimpse of that is a fact of life for so many people in this country. I was processed in the prison, And, you know, my friend and I, we were two of the only white people there. Most everybody that was there was a person of color who was being charged with a drug-related offense or like a violation of probation. And I think the idea behind that was to intimidate us, to show us, you know, the cops and the government, they have the power to restrict our freedom, to remove our ability to lead like lives, our ability to have like autonomous self-determination in our lives. They can literally put you in a cage and keep you there. And I think it's important that we all realize that, and that even though, I guess, the vulnerability and fear that like we might face because of it, they're real, but we can't let that stop us from continuing to do what we're doing, because it's really important. And you know, I don't know what else there is to say aside from that. Like, you know, we need to show them that we're strong. And I personally, I'm really uncomfortable right now because I feel afraid, but I'm here today because I need to show them and to show myself that I am not going to let that stop me from doing this, you know, from raising my voice and marching, you know. Fuck it, we gotta make it a better fucking country. Like,
Yeah, that right.
We're in solidarity with you.
yeah, I'm in solidarity with you. I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Well said.
Awesome.
And I'm open for questions or whatever.
Is there any sort of petition or letter writing thing going on so that we can yell at people and tell them they're wrong? I don't know.
There is. We just started a new website, which unfortunately it seems like we're going to need more and more often. And it's richmondlegalsupport.org. And so we're going to be able to use that for any and all of our political prisoners or activists who have ongoing legal cases. It's kind of bare bones right now because it was literally started on Sunday. But we have a draft of this letter that we're trying to get people to send, basically saying that folks have noticed the singling out of anarchists in Richmond and are not going to let that go untouched, and you know, calling out the legality of that and the legality of calling out of just the two anarchists being arrested when there are lots of people massed up and all that sort of thing. And it also has a list of addresses for City of Richmond officials and press that you can send it to. So it's the sort of thing you can copy the letter in your email, copy the emails into the send section, and just go blip with your name or your organization's name at the bottom to submit it to all these local things. To let them know that, you know, it's not just like one group of political people are going to get persecuted silently, but that there's a whole bunch of people standing up with them.
Do we have any apple cider vinegar?
Tip
that's
does.
an honest question.
No, Tip does. Ask her. She's all about the apple cider vinegar.
All right.
Just needs.
As a practicality, we could easily get.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't see him. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm a member of a collective in Richmond called the Late Night Anarchist Collective. I've been living there for like 2 years. I do Richmond Cop Watch, which is basically the idea is whenever you see police interacting with anybody, you observe and record them, and that not only mitigates the instances of like, or not mitigates, but it like reduces the likelihood that police will use violence and brutality against people, and it gets evidence when they do. So cops kind of have it out for us, and they know who we are. I also was speaking.
4th Precinct cops know us.
Yeah.
By basic name.
I was also speaking at an event right directly before, like a rally for the march, and you know, I told people who I was then. Like, they saw me, they know me. The officer who arrested me, I know him. He's one of the cops in my neighborhood. You know?
And that's one of the silly things about the mask charge, is that they very clearly knew who they were grabbing out of the crowd, because even with the bandana on, you can go, that's Eric. You know, it's not like he was actually trying to disguise who he was. It's
Yeah.
fairly obvious by how easily recognizable someone with a bandana is.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this is the right. I know that Occupy Richmond had sent a letter to Jones and wanted a response by the end of the day today, and I was wondering if you guys could update us on whether or not there was any response and what the, you know, what y'all know of what the group's plans are.
Is he the
About-
mayor?
Yeah,
About
Jones.
the ultimatum, or, you know, I don't know if that's the way to say it.
I haven't heard anything about that yet.
Okay.
To be honest, all of us here have been kind of out of the loop, just scrambling to deal with legal defense and stuff.